connected with Paul's story, I never had any trouble understanding and remembering the related historic events. The Boston Tea Party, the colonies voting to reject British rule and adopt the Declaration of Independence, the shot heard round the world, and, of course, Paul's famous ride. "The British are coming! The British are coming!" But when I tried telling Zoe the story, hoping to spark her interest, she just gave me a funny look. "Dad," she said, "that's not how we learn history." That's when I remembered seeing the new Smart Board in her classroom during the parent-teacher conference. Smart boards are interactive whiteboards that have begun replacing traditional chalkboards in a lot of American classrooms, and all of the classes in Zoe's school had gotten them at the beginning of the year. Among other things, smart boards allow teachers to present their lessons in the form of PowerPoint presentations. In Zoe's teacher's lesson about the Declaration of Independence, you can see the difference between the ways Zoe and I learned history. All she got was what happened. I got the what and the why. Of course, Zoe isn't the only student to suffer this sort of teaching, and the problem isn't confined to our educational system. The same thing is happening every day in corporate America. We try to educate our salespeople by burying them in an avalanche of facts and figures. Then they go out into the field and do the same thing to customers. It's little surprise so few of those customers buy in. They don't like it any more than Zoe did. Why did we write this book? We set out to demystify what great salespeople do. We began this journey primarily for ourselves, to improve how we sell. Sales is the only career the two of us have ever known, and we wrote this book to share what we've discovered along this journey, how we can all better influence change in the world. Here's what we have always known about selling. People decide who to buy from as much as what to buy. People prefer to do business with people like themselves. Selling is a social endeavor involving interpersonal relationships. A person's effectiveness as a communicator has a direct impact on his or her effectiveness selling. The best salespeople communicate in a way that gets people to share information about themselves, fosters openness to new ideas, and inspires others to take action, that is, to buy. What we didn't know was what makes the best salespeople such effective communicators. Was it personality, intelligence, persistence, experience, background, or just plain luck? Was it an inherent gift, or could it be learned and taught? We've been training salespeople for a combined 40 years. For most of that time, our definition of selling has been some variation of helping people solve problems. The definition was based on the belief that the decision to buy is like problem solving, logical and rational. At the time we got into the sales enablement industry, empirical industry research had established that what distinguished successful sellers from less successful ones was questions. The best sellers asked their customers questions, lots of questions. So, for our solution selling and customer-centric selling workshops, we taught salespeople to ask buyers a series of logic-oriented questions designed to lead the buyer to conclude the seller's product was the logical, right answer. As it turns out, a lot of our basic assumptions were wrong. People are not logical and rational when making the decision to buy. Furthermore, asking buyers questions, at least the kinds of questions we were training salespeople to ask, is not an effective means of connection or persuasion.